compulsive thinking going on and on and on and on and on all the time. It's a habit. As you keep telling yourself where you are, who you are, what's going on, how good it is, how bad it is, reading the newspaper of your mind. So there's a difficulty about stopping that activity. And you really have to stop it if you want to be sane. But first of all, you have to learn how to stop thinking. Well, how do you do that?
As your mind becomes more secure, you will find that thoughts move slowly. That's what meditation will gradually lead to. You begin to see your thoughts, which in former times you could not see because they move so rapidly, so fast. As long as your thoughts are going faster and faster, you cannot control them, they will control you. As your thoughts begin to go slower and slower, you will recognize them. You will be able to regulate them.
So in the same way as a muddy, turbulent pool quiets itself when left alone, you have to know how to leave your mind alone.
And I'm testifying to you from personal experience that I don't have to keep my mind thinking all the time. When it is not necessary, it doesn't think.
That's the way you, through using thought symbols, you free the mind from thought. It's like using a thorn to pick out a thorn that's stuck in the skin.
This is permanent joy. This is the peace that passeth all understanding.
Between the thoughts, under the thoughts, is the profound silence. And all we have to do is become aware of that silence. All we have to do is become aware of that silence by realizing it's there.
Welcome to Psych Naw's Mindfulness and Meditation module. This is the Psych Naw Temple, so just relax, take it easy. I've been actually really looking forward to doing this video. I've been doing a lot of research about meditation and like the traditions it comes out of and blah, blah, blah. So I think I have a pretty good idea in terms of how to address a lot of the hang-ups people have about meditation and how to help people do it in a way where they actually get benefits rather than like sitting there with like one eye open like, I don't know, dude. I don't know if I'm having a breakthrough. I'm not even chilling. I'm not chilling that much. Or maybe you're like, you're doing you're trying to do meditation or you're meditating and your brain is just going like, this is dumb. This is dumb. This is a waste of time. If I think it's dumb, that means it is dumb and I therefore adjust my behavior accordingly because my thoughts are correct. Blah. It's like, okay, that's one way to live. So we're going to address all that stuff. We're going to start super basic and kind of step this down into a different level. So all you have to do is chill, listen, take the words in. You can judge after you're done. Take the words in first. We're trying to penetrate through the ego, the thinking mind, through the clutter of judgments and comparisons and anxieties and blah, 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 all the stuff that chatters in your mind while all you're doing is supposedly breathing and noticing your breath. All the other stuff is stuff you don't need within the moment of meditation. It doesn't mean you're ditching it or letting it go forever and becoming some sort of mindless monk. It's just within the space of meditation, you're learning how to put that nasty fucking mind of yours on a leash. And then eventually, when you get good enough, you can let the leash go and just let your mind do its thing. And it's not bothering you anymore. You go, oh, that's just my mind conjuring up thoughts. Okay. It's like a bird being like, and you're like, what the fuck is that bird? What the fuck did that bird say? You start to view your mind as just a natural phenomenon that produces things called thoughts that you can notice and do stuff with, or notice and just be like, weird thought, and go on about your day. So, let's get started. All right, we're going to do something of a warm-up to get started, but before we do, let me say that this series of 3 videos will break meditation down into 3 distinct levels that correspond with what a person might ultimately want to achieve. The first, or the physical level, is the simple relaxation of the mind and body. Easy enough. The second, or cognitive level, is to help us sharpen or discipline the mind so that we can enjoy the benefits of meditation in the space of time outside of its practice. So the first, or physical level, helps us relax the mind and body within the space of meditation. But maybe you're doing that, it feels good, and then you walk upstairs or go to work and you're just spazzing the fuck out all the time and you're like, oh, I gotta meditate again, I gotta meditate again. Okay, maybe you need to take your practice to level 2. This is what I'm talking about, to sharpen or discipline the mind so that you're not creating all of that tension to release in the first place. And the third, or spiritual level, is for spiritual or life fulfillment. It is a total deepening of your meditation practice to the level where it's pretty much all you think about. And the idea behind it is, if you do that correctly, according to the theory and the texts and the teachers and all that stuff, you can attain what is called moksha or nirvana or samadhi, or there's a million words for this thing. It's just that you somehow rewire your brain to be chiller than the word chill can even describe. I haven't attained it, obviously. I'm still kind of a spaz and a freak, but that is the ultimate path. So again, you can say, I'm cool on the spiritual stuff. Let me just get my heart rate down. No problem, my brother. You can stop at the physical level. You might say, I kind of want to sharpen the mind. No problem, my brother. You can stop at level 2. You might say, I'm going all the way. And I can say, here's a couple books you can read. I've read them, and, I still haven't attained moksha or nibbana, but my mood has increased significantly and I don't freak myself out as much. How do I know? Because I used to get stoned and freak out. Now I still get stoned and freak out, but it doesn't really bother me that much. Moksha. That's just fucking moksha, dude. And a lot of the weirdness around meditation has to do with the fact that we're seeking help on the first or physical level, but we're watching stuff about the spiritual practice of meditation, and it gets us all flustered and weirded out and confused, and we're like, what the fuck, this shit's for fucking weirdos, I just want to chill. Or maybe we want the benefits of the spiritual level, but we're only doing stuff from level 1 or 2, and we get all confused thinking like, this just doesn't fucking work for me, man. Almost everyone I talk to about meditation who has tried it usually says something to the tune of like, but I'm really just not good at it, I can't do it, or sometimes it just doesn't fucking work. And these kinds of issues will be addressed in the second and third videos. But for now, we're just going to try to form a very basic foundation so that we can get started and gauge where we're at before troubleshooting our issues at the different levels. Moksha time. So being that this is the physical level, level 1, we're going to make sure we're breathing properly before getting into all the other stuff. You might be thinking, I'm breathing properly. I'm pretty sure I'm breathing right now. And yes, no doubt you are. However, there's a ton of research on how the way people breathe affects them. Breathing in through the nose versus the mouth, pulling in through the chest versus into the diaphragm. There's even a clear-cut relationship between how many breaths you take per minute and things like your heart rate, the way your heart beats, blood flow, circulation, lung function, digestion, and a ton of other important health things we all just probably take for granted. Think of it this way. How you eat is important. If you eat like shit, you will at some point end up feeling like shit. The same thing applies to breathing. And even though the science behind breathing can get kind of technical and tricky, the practice of breathing properly is very simple and anyone can do it. So, let's spend a few minutes getting into the rhythm of slow and proper breathing. If you can do this lying down, that's great, but if you're sitting up, that's fine too. Just make sure your spine is as straight as possible without tensing yourself all up. If you're lying down, you don't have to worry about any of that stuff, but again, if you don't want to lie down, no problem. Okay, so first just close your eyes and try to notice the way you're breathing. Put one hand on your chest and your other hand on your stomach. Notice the parts of your body that rise and fall with your breathing. Is your chest rising first when you breathe, or is the area surrounding your belly rising first? Try to relax and pay attention to what's going on with your body while you take a few more breaths in and out. Just let go of any tension or thoughts about what you're doing. All we're doing is paying attention right now. We're just noticing. Ideally, we want our stomachs to be rising first when we breathe, right in that area right underneath our rib cage. But to do this, we need to relax and just soften our core. So let's give it a try. Exhale all of the air in your body. Just let it out. No need to force it out or strain. Just relax and just let it out of your body. Now, keeping one hand on your chest and the other on the belly, inhale slowly through your nostrils. Imagine that there is a balloon right at the bottom of your rib cage filling as you breathe, which we can feel as our belly rises. And exhale through the mouth, relaxing the body, letting the belly fall as the air leaves. And back in through the nose, filling the balloon as we pull the air a little deeper down into the kegels, or what's called the taint area, and back out through the mouth. Take a few more breaths like this and just play around with this. Don't worry about getting it right or if you're doing it wrong. Just mess around. If your chest is feeling tense, that's okay. Just relax the body and try to breathe a little more slowly. There's no need to pull the air in with any force whatsoever. All we got to do is send the air down to our belly and make sure that the belly is rising before the chest. So keep breathing. Keep feeling the belly rise and fall. So we're going to take a few more breaths, but these ones actually are going to be a little bit bigger. Keeping the hands in place, belly and chest, draw a big full breath in through the nose as much as you can into the belly, and you might notice that the chest also rises after we fill our bellies. And let it out. This is good. There's nothing wrong with feeling an expansion in the chest while breathing, as long as the lungs are being supported by the diaphragm. So let's do another breath in through the nose, filling the belly, chest expands, and release. And last one. In through the belly, pulling air down to the kegels, filling the entire body with air, and back out through the mouth. And we're back. Just a little warm-up, nothing crazy. And just to recap, there's nothing wrong with activating the chest while breathing. But we shouldn't lead with the chest because that's the job of the diaphragm in terms of taking air into the body. A lot of us, due to stress and whatnot, adopt a pattern of chest breathing, where we lead the breathing process using the upper portion of the lungs that are really just there to lend the diaphragm a hand when we get overexerted and need more air, like if we're exercising or stressed out or something. Chest breathing is like running a house on a tiny backup generator when we can be tapping into the power lines instead by using our diaphragm. And it makes sense that we do this considering all we ever hear about are the lungs when it comes to breathing. Though it helps to think of it this way. The lungs are more like a laboratory. They're here to process the air we take in, absorbing all of the oxygen molecules and getting them into the bloodstream while at the same time getting rid of any excess CO2. The diaphragm, located at the bottom of the ribcage above the stomach, is meant to actually pull the air into our body so that it can be delivered to the nerdy scientists working in the lungs. When we pull air into the bodies using just the chest, we are forcing the nerdy scientists of the lungs to do the heavy lifting that should be reserved for the jacked, Chad-like teamsters that make up the diaphragm. So what's happening when we belly breathe is that the diaphragm is expanding in the front, the sides, and back of our body a full 360 degrees. It's like a balloon that's inflating. And when we release it, letting go of the breath, it acts like a pump, moving any excess CO2 out of our lungs, which in turn allows the lungs to absorb more oxygen, which in turn helps the heart relax since it doesn't have to beat and pump as hard to move oxygen through the blood, which in turn chills out the nervous system since the heart rate slows down, which in turn chills us, the person, out. Now, that's just one piece of the puzzle. It's a big piece of the puzzle, and I encourage everyone to continuously practice that throughout the day or set aside time in the morning, do a couple minutes of it in the morning, a couple minutes before you go to bed. That way you can try to retrain your body to start breathing like that unconsciously. The other piece of the puzzle is how many breaths we take per minute. A nice pace for meditation is 6 breaths per minute, and if you do 7 or 5, that's fine. It's nothing to freak out about, but 6 is just easier to track given that a minute is 60 seconds. So we're going to try to do 2 minutes of slow belly breathing or diaphragmatic breathing and see what's good with this. We heard about it, kind of experienced a little taste, but let's see if we can go for 6 breaths per minute while focusing on taking air in through the belly, keeping a straight spine. Again, if you got to lay down, lay down. So just relax, and we'll continue to do this. We're going to do 2 minutes, 6 breaths per minute. I have a timer. All you need to do is just, if you follow along with me, I'll be on the timer, and then you'll be on time as well. All right, so take a breath in through the nose. Just let that belly rise and in through the nose and back out. In, out through the mouth. Breath in and out. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In and out. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Breath in, letting the belly rise, and back out through the mouth. In through the nose, and out through the mouth. In through the nose, and out through the mouth, fully exhaling, clearing your lungs. And in through the nose, and out through the mouth. And one more, in through the nose, and out through the mouth. Let all the air out. And gently open your eyes. Back to reality. So that's it. That's diaphragmatic breathing. That is slowing your heart rate down just by being conscious of the way you breathe. So you technically just meditated. That's all it is. That's the physical aspect of meditation. It's indisputable. If you breathe properly and you take nice full breaths, trying to exhale more than you take in, you will calm your nervous system. Your heart rate will slow down. You'll relax. That'll just happen. Now here's the trick. We haven't really dealt with the mind yet, which we'll get into in the next one. We'll mess around a little bit with it in this one, but we'll kind of explore it way more in detail. Because again, that's the trick of meditation. We can do all of this stuff. We know how to, jumpstart the car. We can kind of override our physiology consciously to slow it down. But when the mind enters the picture, it can start being like, this is dumb. What are we even doing? I hope someone doesn't come and see me doing this. Now you're speeding the body back up. You're trying to slow it down, but the mind's being like, no, ramp it back up. Something bad's going to happen. Your body's like, shit. So we're going to do a little bit more of a meditation, just kind of touching on the idea of how do you, when that thing comes up, what is the mechanism of letting go and just kind of releasing that tension created by the mind. We're going to dab our toes into this just to kind of take us to the end of this video. And just know when we get into the second one, we'll go into the subject in depth. But I just want to give people like a basic understanding of what they might be getting into. So we're going to close the eyes again. We're jumping back into the meditation. Just like we learned already. Take a nice easy breath in through the nose, expanding the area below your rib cage. And letting it back out. Back in through the nose. Expand the belly. And out through the mouth. continue to breathe like this. Very simple. And as you breathe in, notice what else is happening in your body. Is there any tension? We know our chest, our belly, they're kind of doing work right now. But maybe there's some tension in our shoulders. Maybe there's some tension in our neck, our jaw, chest, back, legs. Just let it all soften as we release our breath. So we're going to feel ourselves expand as we breathe in through the nose. And then as we let go of the air within us, we're going to soften and just let go of anything. If there's any thoughts coming up, just for now, let them go. And just notice the tension melt away as we do this. Just breathe in through the nose. Back out and just softening our bodies. And if there's any kind of thoughts kind of coming up, just let them go. Breathing in through the nose. Expanding the belly. And releasing any and all tension. Just getting more relaxed. Just letting go more if we can do it. Just, ugh. You can even make weird noises like that. It works. In through the nose. Scan for tension. And then just let it go. Once you feel relaxed, just continue to breathe. There's no need to continue trying. If you feel like you're scanning too much, just let go of that thought. You're done. Just expand when you breathe. Let the belly rise. And just let it all fall away. You let it out. Just let go of all that air. As you breathe, try to feel the surface of whatever you're lying or sitting on. This could be the force of the ground under your feet, the seat under your butt, or even the couch or the pillows, whatever you're lying back against. Just feel the way that supports your body. You don't have to think about it. If thoughts arise, that's fine, but you don't have to engage them. See if you can notice instead of think. Try to feel the difference between those two things. No need to get it right or be perfect. Just play around with this idea. And again, if your mind's producing thoughts or if you've just completely drifted off, totally fine. Just come back to the breath. Come back to the focusing on the rise of the belly and just letting it fall as we feel ourselves supported by whatever we're sitting or lying down on. Just continuing to breathe and letting it go. There's no need to be doing this right or be good at this. That doesn't apply to this space. We're just breathing. We're just noticing what the mind's doing. We're becoming aware of what awareness is versus what thinking is. Thoughts, judgments, all of that other stuff. Just in this space of meditation, we don't need it. We're just relaxing. So in through the nose, back out through the mouth. Just sinking deeper and deeper into the relaxation. Because we know that we can calm our bodies. It's a fact. When we breathe in slowly, when we breathe in properly, when we let it go, our body relaxes. Oh, we're doing our bodies a favor right now. The mind will still be there. We just don't need it right now. Take in a few more breaths. And when you're ready, slowly open your eyes. Okay, so that is a very basic form of meditation. Just relaxing, noticing stuff, and letting go of tension. And honestly, you could stop the video right there if you want to, and just do that for 5 minutes a day, and you'll be better off as you are now a master of the first or physical level of meditation. It is literally that easy. There are a million different guided meditations you can look up on YouTube and do that every day. It will help you sleep better, it'll lower your blood pressure, reduce stress, and a ton of other good stuff that's listed in a bunch of other videos in terms of like physical benefits, mental benefits, blah, blah, blah. Just learning how to breathe properly alone and making a habit of that helps as well. And if you want to be a level 1 all-star, download the Mindfulness Bell app onto your phone. It's free, and set an alarm to go off every 1 or 2 hours or so throughout the day. When the bell goes off, take a second, acknowledge whatever you're thinking or feeling, scan for physical tension, and then do this kind of meditation for 3 to 5 minutes or even 1 minute, and you will significantly lower your stress throughout the day. And brother, that's a guarantee. You might be thinking like, dude, what? That's it? It's so simple. And you're right, the practice of meditation is very, very simple. There's nothing really to it other than breathing, relaxing, and noticing what's coming up. But our minds, in this relaxed state, usually for some reason start to protest. We get bored. We make judgments. We assess whether or not it's working or whether or not it meets our expectations, all of that stuff. And mind you, none of this has anything to do with this simple practice of meditation, of breathing, of being still, of being silent and noticing what's occurring. That's all you have to do. And you start to see that the thing that makes it difficult is that which you will recognize if you watch the second video as your thinking mind or ego. Wait, what? Yes, dude. Everything you think is right is fucking bullshit. No. But no, there's a part of us that's completely rigid in what we think and feel, and we interpret things in a certain way that's not always very helpful to us. Doesn't mean we have to ditch it all and let it go. No. But, you know, on every steak, there's a little bit of fat that you can kind of slice off if you want to. So in the next video, we're going to descend into the depths of the cognitive level. We did a good job relaxing and releasing tension today, but maybe, just maybe, we can figure out how to not create so much tension to release in the first place. But to do this, we need to learn how to deal with the mind, like we said. In the next video, which will be longer and a bit more complicated, we will begin the path of mental mastery of organizing our thoughts and feelings within the context of our awareness, rather than our default mode, which is the other way around, of just our awareness being sucked into our thoughts and feelings and just us on a little hamster wheel of trying to feel good. Oh my God, nothing's working. Or we can say, hey, ego, you're a helpful ally. I appreciate you, but I'm going to call the shots from here, which we'll see how to get into and how to do. So be brave, for in the next video, you are to enter the ranks of a level 2 meditator, the level of the mind. See you there.